Good morning, everybody. It's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I'm going to be working on some of those collage pieces with the Chinese cutouts, but I wanted to show you a few things that I purchased recently. This video is going to be probably just a mix of this and that. I thought I would film, and I might not do a lot of editing, or maybe I will edit tonight when I'm visiting with my grandkids. Anyway, I love this wallpaper. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's a little older. What does this say? Nina Campbell. I don't see a year. Sometimes there are years on the backs of these. China Seas. What does this say? Not really anything. But just some beautiful pieces. I love this. At first I thought this was a bird, but do you see the salamander sitting on the leaf? Or maybe it's not a salamander. But I don't know what the whole thing looks like. I'm not sure what this is. It looks a bit bizarre. That almost looks like it could be a hookah pipe. I just don't know. It's so strange. This is the only piece that I have. House of Hackney. Hackney Empire luxury wallpaper. Midnight. Digitally printed. And there's no date on that. That is amazing. Look at the color in the eye. And then this is really beautiful. I thought all of this had a bit of an Asian look, and I want to use it with the cutouts. This paper is fabulous. Talk about ASMR. This is very textured. I'm going to put this wallpaper down so I can show you. And oh my goodness, just look. This paper is really smooth. This paper, it's just, it feels so good. Beautiful paper. And then I love this. That has 2008. Okay, that one has a date. Vertical repeat, horizontal repeat. Let's see, peony orange. And that is the Katie Riddler collection. Really, really beautiful. I want to just show you this and get these large pieces out of the way because I have some things underneath I want to show you as well. I love this. What does this say? Osborne and Little. No year. Oh my gosh, just so beautiful. I think that's the end of the wallpaper. So let me go put that away. Is there such a thing as having too much paper? Maybe, but I just don't know. Maybe not. This is the paper, I think. No, it's not the paper. Oh, this is some paper I'm going to be using for a journal coming up soon. I wanted to show you the journal that I am working in currently, but also I did a couple of collage pages before I went to work yesterday morning. So this was after I showed you the cutouts. I did purchase quite a few more cutouts. We have so many, and of course, I mean, they will go because they've been advertised and we won't see them again. You know, at a place like that, it's not like you order what you want to have in the store. We're just completely dependent on what the universe sends our way, which I love. I think it's amazing. I love the way these turned out. So underneath is just some vintage paper that I used Mod Podge only on the back. I don't like the feel of Mod Podge on the tops of things after it dries. To me, it just stays sticky forever. So there's no Mod Podge on the top, just on the back. And then for the bird, I put down just a blob of PVA glue, spread it really, really thin, and then just laid the bird down really carefully on it. These are so delicate. I mean, if you get them tangled up in the glue on the page in the wrong place, there's probably not going to be any saving it. I don't know, especially as the cutouts get larger. But I just wanted to show you these. I think they turned out pretty. And I didn't put anything over the top. This paper is so thin the layer of PVA glue was extremely thin, and I think it just soaked right up into the paper. So it dried really nicely. I don't feel any loose edges, but it's not sticky at all. So these are going into a book that I'm working on. This book, I may put a couple of things into this book while we're sitting here. This is another one that could get as big as this. It says fragile out here. I hope you can see that okay. And then you can see my stamp over here on the back. That's on some satiny fabric. I don't always use satin type fabric for that, but I liked it for this, and I'll tell you why. It's a little bit creepy. And then we have the name of the journal, which is The Colors of Darkness. I might do another one of these, The Colors of Darkness. So again, I love the way these lay, because if you don't want to do anything at all to this, it will lay flat just like it is. It's a little bit rounded, but if you want to add to it, it's going to expand and expand and expand. And I love, love, love this velvet ribbon. So in the very front, there's a card that says, "Life is fragile, handle with care." I'm not going to just take a lot of time on this entire journal, but you will see as we go through, there are sort of some dark images. Everybody recognizes Edgar Allan Poe, but then this is his young wife, Virginia Clem, and she died from consumption, as other family members did. So there are some dark feelings in this. This image is from an older book called Doctors and Medicine, and I loved this book for these illustrations or drawings. The artist is Honoré Daumier. He was French, and he produced many, many illustrations and drawings. He did some caricature art, which you can tell that's what that looks like, and really illustrated a lot of life of the 19th century in France. And it made me think a lot of it looks like illness. This book has some darkness in it. In fact, there's the word dark hiding underneath layers. I might let you all guess who this is. I had a couple of large posters, and I cut them down just to use parts of them. I love that it says "Mad" right here. This is an old poem from 1925. Well, actually, a couple of old ones. This is the original. I scanned it so that I can use it again in my journals. This book has a lot of stamping, old book pages, stenciling, and so this pair of scissors, you've seen it several times lately. I finally glued the original into the book. I didn't make these scissors. I bought these. One of the things we have at the Scrap Exchange is a large table that is piled with all sorts of paper. Bits of scrapbook paper, magazine pages that are really, really cool, bits from calendars, everything you can think of, really fancy paper ends up on that table. And we don't throw away things. Like if we get little bits and pieces donated, they end up somewhere so they can be shopped. It is an amazing, amazing concept. We were laughing yesterday about the Scrap Exchange being a living being. It has a personality. It's not like any other store, but I had to use this pair of scissors. I don't know who made these. Whoever made these, they're wonderful. I love them. Thank you for donating them so that I could buy them and use them, or I should say, this piece of paper. I had this book page called, or from a chapter in a book, A Tale of a Pair of Scissors. The text on these pages got pretty dark, but I just had to put these two together in here. Another from Honoré Daumier, and this is some metal ribbon. It was like decorative ribbon, kind of lightweight, but I've got the bird there. This napkin came from Jay again, and you will see it throughout the book. In fact, this he's got one of the birds on his shoulder with the branches coming around and behind. This is the same person from the poster. Do you see the eye there? It's kind of creepy, but I like it. I'll let you guess who that is. Maybe I should show you again. I love it. So just that is a piece of fabric from Sheila at Boho Daydreams. I'm still working through the wonderful package of fabrics that I ordered from her. They last a long time because there are so many rich pieces. Love this. So, oh, I love this too. You can just see her face looking out. Life is beautiful. So I will just flip. We don't need to get into every little thing. And as I flip, I will tell you, you see the mushrooms. Jason and I have enjoyed so much going on our walks and hikes around the Eno River. Pretty, isn't it? We are so fortunate to live on this wonderful, wonderful river. We're not right on it, but we're really close. And it is such a resource, but there's a lot of history there. You know, I showed you the pump station where water was pumped to Durham starting in the 1800s. Prior to that, I know we had American Indians, Native Americans is a more proper term. People lived in this area. There are just, you find little things like all of the broken bottles around the pump station. We don't disturb the land because you're not supposed to take anything that is part of the, you know, the geographic landscape or whatever, minerals, plants, things like that. But if I find a piece of broken glass or glass, I think it's okay to pick that up. It does end up broken, and you don't want it broken in the water. Anyway, there's a lot of history there, and as we walk, I think about all the life that lived and walked in those woods and along those trails and tributaries and, you know, swam in the water and fished and just everything. And it is so bittersweet to think about those people being just as alive as Jason and I are right now and enjoying the birds, the plants, and all of those people are gone. There are graves as well on some points in the Eno. I believe somewhere there is a slave cemetery which occasionally gets a structured tour. I think you can go look at it. And, you know, it's just, it is heart-wrenching. It just pulls on my heartstrings, and yet it's so beautiful. But I don't want to just sit on this page the whole time. Behind the vellum bird, you can see these three faces. So it's 2 layers of paper that I sewed into place, and it's just 3 young boys, it looks like, in their paper hats. And I'm thinking they were probably out having a good time wherever they were. This came from an old photograph that came from an older book. So I don't know, I just started thinking about the colors of darkness. We leave, but nature stays. The trees stay. The moss that I love so much, it stays. The butterflies, the birds, I mean, they die too and they're replaced, but we tend to look at nature as almost a landscape or a backdrop. It's like wallpaper to us. You know, we can't connect with those lives like we can our own human lives. In a way we can, but I think you know what I mean. So this is another illustration from Honore Daumier, and it illustrates sickness, which ties into all of my thinking, you know, darkness. And I thought about, too, how that we go back to Earth and everything grows and lives above ground while we're kind of hidden once we're gone, whether it's cremation or burial. And you know, there's green burial, which has always appealed to me. I don't know, it's kind of morbid to think about, isn't it? But this is beautiful. I love the staining, the scribbling, these old book pages. to think about children once being alive and reading these pages from the turn of the century, like 1900, 1920s. I love this. This was from a scrapbook from the early 1900s, and the paper around the images was falling apart. I do scan the images before I use them, if I use the originals. This is an old photograph I have in my collection. I scanned it. I just think she's adorable. Once upon a time, you know, we all have life and plans. This is from an old scrapbook. I just love this fabric. The old map from the 1930s back there. And we have her singing, and then over here just shh, because we all are silenced at some point. There is another feather from my sweet mama, and this is a guinea feather. I wanted to lay it this way, but because of the curve, I put it this way. Beautiful, beautiful stamps. Another part of that image that I scanned. I don't remember where I got that. That might be from an older book. I have the artist's name too. I will try to find that and put it in here. Anyway, let's just flip on through this. I'm still working in this. And here's another one of those illustrations. I put the birds to liven it up, but dental work, illness, it's just one of the darker sides, I suppose. And mushrooms, they like dark places, and yet I think we all love them. They're just beautiful. You can see the doll head behind this this is like cellophane. I don't know how easily that would tear, but if it tears up, I mean, whatever. I think it's okay. It's glued on the edges. I didn't want to do anything to that part. It's a bit creepy. I love how this turned out. I love this. That is printed on photo paper. And I printed this vintage floral botanical image and then printed her right over the top. I love how her eyes are peeking out from behind the leaf there. And there's part of another poster. Love this old suit and the what do you call that scarf in the front? Is that an ascot? I can't remember. We have this La Garde Malade, and that means sick care or something like that. So again, illness. Here's the definition for hypochondriac. And we see the dental work there. You might have this poster figured out by now. There's another part of one of those posters. I liked the heavy paper, and I had originally planned to use this in the books that I made for the attorneys with the old law books, and I never actually worked it into it. I did want to use it though. It was nice paper, not glossy, very heavy. So I'm still working on this. In the very last page, there is always an ending. So, might glue some things into this, but in the meantime, I want to get back to making some of these book pages for the next book. So let's get a piece of this paper. Let me cut this down and I will be right back. We're cutting these at 5.5 by 8.5. And that's the size I want for the book I'm working on. I wasn't sure, you know what, I need to scan this possibly, or maybe not. So this piece of paper is a little bit thicker, not super thick. I don't know if I need to cut that down or if it will even end up on this page. I think it will, but I'm gonna go ahead and start, I don't wanna knock that over, start putting some things on the page here. And I have some old paper. Let me move a couple of things. I don't know. Let's take one of those pages. I love this book. It's not in the best shape, but I think that cover would be beautiful to make a book cover. You can see it's already falling apart and torn pages, a lot of staining in there, but I like that cover. So I'm using some of the pages out of that. And let's just glue down some pieces of paper here with the Mod Podge. So those of you who came in to look at the cutouts yesterday, that was so much fun. I always enjoy seeing everybody and exchanging ideas. It makes me so happy. I want us to have the best paper shop in Durham. And I'm always open to suggestions of what we can do better. It's a process. I love working in paper. And my sidekick, who works with me there, we have the best time packaging things and showing each other really interesting things that come in. We recently had a dictionary come in that was from 1854, a Webster's dictionary. The color, I'll show you that. I took a little video and then I handed it off to the gallery at the front because I really feel like it deserved a space up there, and you know, like maybe even being sold. Oh, I like that. That might just be the structure of that page. I like that space and that you can see the lines where the page was torn. What was that? Oh, I did get a video of that dictionary though before I handed it off because the color of the cover and the patina, you know, and to think it came from 1854. Even the words, there were not any illustrations that I remember seeing, but just the print, you know, the wording, and it was a Noah Webster dictionary. I'm sitting out in the workshop, so going back to look at this, I wanted you to just see this gorgeous, gorgeous dictionary. Look at the color of the cover. And then getting inside the book, you can see the fading. It's got the date, the dates of different publications. This one is 1854. I just love it. We didn't want to handle this book too much. Of course, it has been around for over 100 years, and it's just amazing to think I'm holding the pages where people did 100 years ago. It is quite a treasure, and I'm so honored to get to see things like this and to pass them on to others. Oh, I do like that. So maybe, let me think about this. I use the same water for just about everything. That's probably not the best idea, but I do keep a really heavy towel in my lap all the time to wipe the brush off. And I think you can end up with some nice color and texture when you do that. I do clean the bottles out when they're empty and start over with fresh water intermittently so it doesn't become absolutely horrid. Just so you know, those of you who are appropriately careful, I don't know, my personality has always just been one of spontaneity and impulsivity, I guess. That gets you into trouble sometimes. I do like that. Let's just put a drop of the alcohol ink. Isn't that beautiful? I love the way it runs around the like around the corners. Gets in the edge of the paper. You can be really brave with this. I mean, I suggest it. That'll dry. I think it's beautiful. So let me dry this off a little bit. Okay, that's pretty dry. I guess I need to get a heat gun, or I've been using a hair dryer. There's probably a reason that you're not supposed to use a hair dryer. I don't know. I've seen other people use them. Let's see. I think for this one, so let me pick one of these out. Oh, I love that one. I wonder if there's enough room. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh, I do like that. So she does need to go on top. I don't want to glue the cutout over her because she's a little bit thicker. You know, these papers, they warped a little bit. That could possibly be because I didn't pay a lot of attention to them after I completed them. I just put them to the side and got ready for work, so they dried a little bit curled. That doesn't bother me once I get them in my books, because you just saw this one and some of the pages in here, like that one is curved because it came from a poster. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So with this part, I don't really want to use the Mod Podge because it is going to stay sticky. I also don't want a lot of this PVA glue. So let's make a thin, let's see, how much do we need? Let's just go ahead and I think we could even add some water. Where's my towel? It fell. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's thin that out. And this is the tricky part. Like I said, I think if you laid this down in the wrong place, there's not going to be any saving it if it gets tangled up in the glue. So maybe lay that, oh crap. It's wanting to stick to my fingers a little bit. Yeah, see, I think I didn't get that one completely flat. I really need tweezers. The main thing, I believe, is to get that bird straight. Let's just, and there's actually not any glue up there at the top. So let's put a tiny bit. And don't worry about perfection with anything. I mean, fear keeps people from doing a lot of things, including myself. I sometimes let fear stand in the way, and I've always regretted not having the confidence to do certain things. The older you get, the more, I guess the less you're afraid, if that makes sense, because you realize, I don't know, you just need to try. So let's put some glue on the back of this one. This one's thicker. to keep an eye on that one and make sure that, let's move her a tiny bit. Make sure that stays flat. That paper is so thin. Okay, I'll let that one dry a little bit. So there's another page for the book. I said that and then I picked it right back up. I just don't want her to curl off of the page. I know what I'll do. I'm going to lay her between a couple of books. Not the pages, the outsides of the books. Okay. So maybe I've probably completely lost the other blank page. I moved some things around. Oh no, there it is. Good grief. So, and you see, I don't mind that I'm getting this distressing underneath on the next page. It's just fine to have that there. I wonder if I have any botanical. Oh, I do. Any more? Maybe something that I like better. I wonder what that is. It's in another language. Mushrooms. That's pretty. Okay, so I might do one more and then go back to my journal to put some things in. Let me pick one more bird out of here. I love this one as well. Maybe we will use that delicate, I think that's maybe rice paper. So let's first maybe on this one. I'll do a little bit of stamping. I'll use this chocolate chip color. And I painted a little bit of water on the page first. I like it when it runs like that. Some along the edge because that might be all that ends up showing. Put this back over here. So, do have this. This is on some very thin bond paper. I'm going to put the Mod Podge. You know what? I could just use PVA for the whole thing. PVA with some water. I'm going to try that and just see. But I might not want to get water on that. So let's do this. let's paint it on the back of here. Actually, I'm going back to the Mod Podge. And I've lost my towel again. There it is. Okay, all the way to the edge. And hopefully not stick it to the paper underneath. It's funny. All right, let's see if we can get this in the right spot. I love all that writing. The ink stamp that you can see underneath, and then sometimes you can, this paper is durable enough that I can maybe pull it down a little bit. I needed more under there, so let's put a little more under this edge. Lay that down, and then we'll figure out what to do with this. I wonder, who knows if this will work. See if I can get my brush up under there. I did. And over there. I don't like a lot of Mod Podge on the paper. So that's okay. I think we're going to do some distressing anyway. Sometimes you do things because you end up feeling like you have to, and it all turns out great. Let's put some of this on here, and maybe it'll help that everything just soak in. Plus, I like the look. I think it makes everything show up better. And then we're going to be putting some PVA glue down anyway to add these other pieces. I'm going to dry this, or maybe I'm not. Let me think about this. I guess I need to think about what I want on this page as well. I like her, and I love this bird. So let's tear her out. I wonder if I should leave that border there. I do like it's hard to tell. Come on, behave. I kind of feel like I'm going to like it better without. Yeah. So let's put her right here. I'm just going to put some PVA on there, and it's so funny, I was saying PVC the other day, but we sell PVC pipe at work. A lot of people come in asking for different things, and I guess that was just in my mind. We have metal scraps and wood scraps, just all sorts of scraps. Fabric, arts and crafts. Oh, I like her there. But then we need to figure out, I kind of like this red flower up here. And I wonder if somehow I could. Is that going to be too much? gonna try it and see. Looking forward to seeing my babies tonight. They love it when I take care of them, which makes me happy. It's like holding my own babies all over again. It's hard to understand until you have grandchildren. I always heard people talk about that, but then when you have them, it's like little versions of your own babies. So let's put this up here. Yep, I'm putting that right back in the water. I'll have to change this water before too long, because it ends up with everything in it. I do want to put some of this here. And maybe even a darker spot right there. I'm going to dry this a little bit and I will be right back. I'm going to move it away from the table because I don't want to blow that little paper cutout away. I love the way this starts changing colors. I hope I'm going to like this on here. I wonder if I put down, okay. For now, let's just do this. I don't know, do we want to put that on the paper to give it a, but then we won't really be able to see her. And we would need to pull it up a little bit to see her anyway. But I like that. I could have moved her down a little bit more, but that's okay. We could also, no, I don't like, I want it up there, I think. So, all right, let's put more PVA glue down. Look, it's streaking that a little bit, which is fine. Ah, now here we go. I guess I should have looked at the other side because it could go that way, couldn't it? Oh, now I don't know. Let's look at the colors real quickly. Oh my gosh. It's funny. Are the colors the same? Oh, that looks brighter. I think it's got to go this way. And now here I haven't really... One went down so easy. That's great. So where is my pencil? Let's see if we can. Oh my gosh, okay, so yeah, I don't want to leave marks from the pencil, that's for sure. Like ridge marks. You just have to do what, if something doesn't seem right, just stop. If something does seem right, then just go with it. Oh, wait, is that, I can't see like I used to, but I think that's okay. Oh, I don't want to mess with that too much. There, I'm gonna stop with that. Oh my gosh, they're just so beautiful. So that's another page. I am going to stop with this for right now and do a little bit of work in my latest journal. There might be a few things in here. I like that with the dark spot. It says 1800. I don't think that's when that's from, but maybe it was used. Maybe someone was writing something. think about things like somebody buying a journal and wanting to be able to write on a certain side, like versus over here, maybe over here if you're right-handed. So sometimes I try to decorate these pages more. I don't know, it doesn't really matter, I guess. I lost my towel again. Maybe I should have the Mod Podge for this. There, I like that. I like that it already has that staining in it. This owl got really stained up working on the pages here. It's just kind of in the background. I don't know. That paper's really, I do like that. I wonder if I want to cut off that. You can see where it was torn out of the book. It's not particularly beautiful. It's not bad. I could sew around that edge. I think I might do that. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Let me do that real quick. Now, I can put some glue under here and not run the sewing machine through it. I know I had a little bit under the other page, but this is way out at the edge, and yeah, I think it's fine. I wouldn't run my sewing machine through a lot of wet glue or anything, but I do use it a lot, and it's, I mean, if it died tomorrow, I've got use out of it. I hope it doesn't. I think I've had it over a year now. Hoping it'll last quite a few more years. They're not that expensive though. You can get a good deal on the Brother, just the basic sewing machines. The Runway, I think, is what I have. I can't see the front of it from here. Yeah, I like that. Owls come out at night, so that would be a color of darkness. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here. Let's just put all this over here to dry. I'm gonna stop here. I do have some journals available, some quilt covered journals, and I think that is all for this video. I've enjoyed hanging out. Oh, I have a couple of feathers. Oh, what did I do with that other one? I have that. Oh dear. And this one. I'm going to put those in. I probably will make little pockets for the colors of darkness and put those in there as well. So let me move those and put them somewhere where they won't get lost. I'll lay them up there where I can see them. But will I remember? I like making the little pockets for the feathers. Okay, I'm going to go this time for real, and I will see you very soon with some journals and a giveaway or several. All right, see you soon. Bye for now.